to That Marketing Show. This is episode number 9. Hey, I want to talk today about a story, well, 2 stories indeed. The first I want to talk about strengths. One of the things that always challenges a business, and we find it when we work with customers, is what are the strengths that a business has as opposed to what are their weaknesses. And a lot of people think, well, we should work on our weaknesses. And I think the reality is that that's the wrong decision. You should really leverage your strengths. We had a customer recently who wanted to bring their marketing in-house. And we said, okay, we'll certainly be able to support your transition back to bringing your marketing in-house. But why do you want to do this? Well, we want to be able to manage this ourselves, and we want to be able to change the strategy depending on how our business is rolling. I said, that's great. I think that's a wonderful idea. How are you planning on implementing this? Well, we're going to figure that out when we start to work through the business. This company happened to be a tile company, and they had just started their business about 2 years ago, first time into running a business, and we had started to work with them on their marketing strategy and had gotten them pretty successful. 2 weeks later, I watched this happen to their, they were getting probably about 100 to 200 hits on their website when we were working with them and producing a pretty good revenue stream for their e-commerce store. And I saw this start to happen, where it was down to about 50 or so hits. So one of the challenges is building on your strengths. When you work with an SEO company or social media company or a management of your activity, you must think about what strengths you have and what strengths the company you have. Now, this isn't a rant about whether to pick my company or the next company, but it's a rant about building on your strengths. What are your core strengths as a company? Do you manufacture tiles? Do you do plumbing? Do you do electrician work? You need to take what you do as a core asset and leverage that strength as best you can, and use people and ventures such as marketing companies or other environments that are core strengths in their business. Reason why I was thinking about this, 2 things. As I said, there's 2 stories in this. One, I thought about my background. I left a very big corporate environment, very safe environment, been there for almost 10 years. The thing that I couldn't do was, I was in sales, and they capped commissions. So they basically said, you can't, after August, you've already made your money, because I was always the #1 guy. And I thought to myself, if I'm always the #1 guy in an organization of, and this happened to be hundreds and hundreds of salespeople, if I'm the #1 guy, I should be able to help other people become #1. So when I was thinking about starting my own company, as I started the coffee group, I started thinking about, well, my core strength is sales and marketing. I need to be able to give that strategy, those pieces of understanding of how to connect people and how to make sure that people are promising and continuing and pushing through with the deliverables and making sure that the customers are satisfied. I need to bring that to other companies. Now, the same thing goes for any business, such as a software company. If your core asset is making software and your core asset is now delivering that software, you've got to now put your manpower into the deliverable that you do as much as you can, because the strength that you bring to that is exponential as opposed to trying to take a weakness and then try and get that weakness to grow. Because the strengths of any company are its core deliverable and its core revenue stream. So think about that. Now here's the second story. One of the things that has always been a challenge for social media has been the ROI of social media. When we talk to clients, they're like, well, we'll take SEO and we'll take our pay-per-click, but social media, we don't think that that's worth anything. I had an experience this weekend where I actually had a call from Bank of America come in. And Bank of America was trying to basically do collections. Now, it's the beginning of the month, and mortgage bills are typically due somewhere in whatever by the 15th of the month, and they're doing preemptive strikes. So they're going in and calling all their customers to try and get them to recognize, hey, we know that the bills are due by the 15th, but if you can pay them early, we'd really appreciate it. But they were doing it in a harassing way. They were actually calling every day. And so I finally got the supervisor who had been calling, the rep who had been calling, and I talked to them. I said, this is the worst thing you could possibly be doing, because you're interrupting me. I've never been late for a payment, and now you've created some sort of dialogue that I'm going to now take and transfer. So the mentality was, I went on Facebook and posted about how horrible Bank of America was and how horrendous having someone do collection calls for stuff that isn't even due yet is. I posted it on the Facebook wall of Bank of America. I posted it on my wall. I actually even joined a group that says, hate Bank of America. Now, the reason why I did this was more about to find out what would happen. More importantly, for Bank of America, what they would do if they would even respond. Because I posted on their Facebook wall, I posted on my wall, no response from them. However, dozens of responses from people who were in my Facebook, right? All the people giving me suggestions on what bank to go, what credit union I should go to, why they also support not going to Bank of America. This showed and proved to me that the world, from a big business standpoint, is going to change rapidly, especially because there are so many people involved in now that discussion about where to go. What would be the advice? Where would you do? What would you do if you wanted to leave your bank? So, looking at the dozens of conversations that come out of just one small complaint, it leads you to believe that the ROI of social media is really the ROI of customer care. Because at the end of the day, if you can provide that support, let's say someone called me back and said, hey, you know what, we're sorry, we'll make it up to you, we'll give you a toaster, whatever I'm just making up. But the reality is that it's already done, right? So the process of thinking about engagement with your audience, and I know we've kind of talked about strengths in the beginning of this video, but I wanted to go back to this. Your strengths, you need to now take your strengths and push them into your social media strategy. Because now, your expertise, meaning that if you're a software company or you're a plumber, now taking your expertise and pushing care forward and trying to suggest a preemptive strike to say, hey, if you have challenges, we want to let you know. We have a open dialogue with all of our customers. It's being transparent. That's what's changing in social media. So the ROI is really proving that you're going to preemptively strike with customer care so that in the long run, right, you're going to be able to support the growth of a company, whether it's small or large, but the stability and the retention. So I hope this video finds you well, and we'll talk to you in the next episode.